You keep saying that diets don't work, but I've lost 5 pounds a bunch of times. I'm on a great lifestyle wellness cleanse diet fasting plan, and all I have to do is just stay on it forever. It's simple! Stop making excuses!
Okay, but the definition of diet working is that it should keep working, right?
No excuses!
You know, fine. Come back to me in 3 years. Let me know if that diet's still working for you then.
Just do it forever, until you die! Nothing is more important than having a body that conforms to arbitrary cultural standards!
'Cause it won't be. Sorry. For the purposes of this video and all my videos and everything I say on this topic ever, calorie restriction is dieting. You could call it a lifestyle change, you could call it a cleanse, you can call it wellness, you could call it whatever you want. Calorie restriction and monitoring is dieting. Your lifestyle change that includes calorie restriction quacks like a diet. It's a diet. There's duck feathers everywhere. We all know it. I know it, and you know it too. You may be asking yourself, why is she wearing a squid hat? And the answer is, because I felt like it. We all know someone who eats a lot, doesn't really exercise, and yet remains thin. And we all know someone who stays fat no matter what they try. Sure, they may lose some weight, but they always gain it back. Why does this happen? Set point theory tries to answer this question by proposing that each person has a level of body fat that is normal for that individual person. That level of body fat is their individual set point, and this level will be different for different people. If less than 1% of diets result in permanent weight loss,
check out my video on the rates of diet failure. They're very high.
Then there has to be a different explanation for people being different sizes, other than just some people are bad and wrong and should be yelled at forever, every day of their lives.
Hey, fat girl. Can I tell you a little secret?
Oh, yes. Kind stranger, please bless me with your wisdom that I certainly didn't ask for and haven't received already from a million other random strangers in every conceivable situation and which I certainly didn't ask for.
You just gotta stop drinking soda. Yep. Me? I stopped drinking soda, and I lost 7 entire pounds. That's all it takes. You just have to have the willpower to put that 2-liter bottle down.
I don't even drink soda. I mean, if you put enough bourbon in, it's barely even a mixer. More like a little light flavoring at that point.
Yep. Just stop drinking all the soda that I'm imagining that you drink, and you could lose 7 human pounds, just like I did. Finger guns, finger guns, finger guns, finger guns. Yes.
Okay, firstly, you're still a drawing, and you don't even weigh half a pound. So, I'm a little skeptical of your research. Besides, I don't understand why this keeps coming up, because I could lose 7 pounds and literally no one would notice, including me. And so I don't understand why weird, and very aggressive strangers keep bothering me about this. These are not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. If we say that fat people can just make themselves thin by eating less, then it would make sense that thin people should be able to eat enough to make themselves fat if they wanted to. Does it work that way? Well, no, not really. In the 1960s, Dr. Ethan Sims wondered if the metabolic differences between fat and thin people were caused by different amounts of body fat, or if it was the metabolic differences that caused the people to be different sizes in the first place. Basically, up until then, no one had ever stopped to wonder which came first. The fatness chicken? Cluck! Look at this chunky clucker. Or the metabolism egg. Metabolism.
Is that what metabolism looks like?
Yes, it is. This is what a metabolism looks like. It's these shapes.
Even the little bar-shaped one?
Mm-hmm. That one too.
What's the curly one?
It's vaporwave. I made it. I made it vaporwave. By hand. I know we all love vaporwave.
Does everyone's metabolism look like that?
Yes. Science. So Sims decided he would take a group of thin people, turn them into fat people just for a little while, and then study them to see if their metabolism changed as a result of the weight gain. But there was only one problem. None of these people could gain enough weight. To start, Sims took 4 college students and asked them to gain 20% over their usual body weight by eating extra food. None of them could do it. Some of them couldn't even gain 10% over their usual body weight, which for a person who's 120 pounds, that's only 12 pounds. Well, it should be easy, right? Just eat a lot of cake. Wrong. Sims tried again in 1964 with prisoner volunteers at the Vermont State Prison. He screened for subjects who had no family history of either fatness or metabolic issues. The men did not find it easy to gain weight, even when doubling their usual intake of food and reducing their activity levels. One subject was able to gain 28 pounds, but only by eating 7,000 calories a day. And when he went back to his original style of eating, he began to lose weight immediately. Another subject was able to gain 20% over his starting weight, which is 30 pounds in someone who started out at 150 pounds, but only by eating 10,000 calories a day. If what everyone weighs is solely determined by what we are and aren't eating, then why were Dr. Sims' subjects not able to gain weight and gain it easily? In a different study of identical twins, researchers fed the twins an additional 1,000 calories a day over what they should need to maintain their weight. The twins couldn't maintain a higher weight either. What's even more interesting is that while the twins matched each other for amount of weight gained, the amount of weight gained between different sets of identical twins varied from 9 pounds to 29 pounds. Why did some people gain 3 times as much weight on the same amount of calories as others? Because of
metabolism.
What is metabolism? Metabolism is the chemical reactions inside our bodies that keep us alive. We take in energy in the form of food, which our bodies break down to use as fuel. A lot of people have been taught that every individual person's weight is determined based on a calorie balance model. You hear people refer to it all the time when they say, calories in, calories out. I'm a very judgmental person. But this model is basically wrong. Or at least it's oversimplified to the point that it's not just useless, it's become actively harmful. Metabolism is anything but simple. Our weight and our appetites are controlled by a bunch of different hormones. These hormones send signals to the brain, which then sends its own signals, called neurotransmitters, back to the rest of the body. Scientists are still discovering new hormones and neurotransmitters all the time. Every new discovery has the potential to change our understanding of how people's bodies deal with their food. For example, this is a list of metabolism, hormones, and neurotransmitters, and I'm going to read it to you. Let's do that together now. Leptin, insulin, adiponectin, GLP number 1, ghrelin, glucagon, GIP, incretins, PYY, oxynametabolobin. That's wrong. Amylin, melanocyte stimulating hormones, adrenocorticotropical, not tropical. It doesn't say that. Adrenocorticotropic. Ooh, I think that was right. Hormone, neuropeptide Y, agouti. I don't even know why this is funny to me, but it is. Agouti-related protein, propionmelanocortin, gamma-aminobutyric acid. You're welcome. A lot of people have this idea that somehow they're fully in control of their own bodies, like a little person inside their own brain, directing it on what to do. But anyone who's ever had the stomach flu or food poisoning should know that there are definitely times when our thinking brain is absolutely not in control of our bodies. Your body does not know the difference between a diet and a famine. And when you diet, your body thinks you could be in danger of starving to death. And if there's one thing your body will fight for, it's to keep you alive. When you drop below your set point, the body has a lot of tricks to basically force you to eat. The attention and reward parts of your brain become way more active. An experiment with subjects who had restricted calorie intake showed that this kind of brain activity was way higher when the subjects were shown pictures of high-calorie versus low-calorie food. When you're dieting, your brain makes high-calorie food look way better to you than it might otherwise. The longer the calorie reduction, the more blood that goes to your cerebellum. Increased blood flow in the cerebellum is linked to hunger and appetite. I also have to tell you that in addition to showing hungry people pictures of cheeseburgers and cauliflower, this experiment also had a group of subjects that either got a milkshake or, for the control group, what they called a, quote, calorie-free tasteless solution that was supposed to feel and taste like spit. Like spit. Is that a part of my argument? No, it is not. But since I have to know about the spit experiment, now you do too. Boom. Another experiment showed that calorie reduction was related to reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps you make decisions and not immediately act on your impulses. So your brain keeps you fixated on high-calorie foods and then throws the brakes away. And it gets worse the longer you struggle to stay below your set point. Also, did you know? Body fat is a part of your hormonal system. Body fat makes hormones that control sensations of hunger and feeling full. As you lose body fat, the hunger hormones go up and the feeling full hormones go down. When you diet, your body also tries to conserve fuel by slowing everything down and using every calorie as efficiently as possible. This slows down your metabolism, and it makes it harder to maintain a weight loss even on the same amount of calories. These changes in hormones and energy usage can last a long time. Studies have shown over a year after stopping the diet, and even when all the weight lost has been regained, hormone and energy use still had not returned to their pre-dieting levels. And now let's turn to the mental health effects. Now we're back to talking about Dr. Ancel Keys, a frequent topic of Okay to Be Fat videos. In the 1940s, Dr. Ancel Keys conducted an experiment into the effects of famine that would come to be known as the Minnesota starvation experiment. The men were allowed to eat 1,600 calories a day and also greatly increase their exercise levels. And yes, I know what you're thinking, that is way more calories than most people eat while on a diet. But it's also way less calories than you actually need. The UN Convention Against Torture requires that prisoners be fed a minimum of between 2,210 and 3,345 calories a day to prevent torture by withholding food. I also just wanted to remind everyone on the left that the George W. Bush administration used the existence of the diet industry in America as a reason why it was totally okay for them to torture prisoners in Guantanamo Bay with starvation. The Minnesota starvation experiment subjects became completely obsessed with food. They talked about food. They dreamed about food. They lost interest in anything else. Sound familiar? Anyone who's ever been on a diet or been within 20 feet of someone else on a diet or any kind of calorie restriction? Calorie restrictions affected the mental health of one man so badly that he chopped off 3 of his own fingers with an axe to get out of the experiments. Dieting has also been proven with science to be inherently stressful, physically as well as mentally. This study is pretty cool. The researchers took women who wanted to diet, split them into 3 groups. One group restricted their food intake to 1,200 calories a day and kept detailed food diaries of everything they ate. And one group was given prepackaged food by the researchers. So while the subjects were restricting calories, they didn't have to do any of the mental work of tracking the calories. And there was a control group that wasn't asked to do either. The women's stress levels were measured by tracking how much of the stress hormone cortisol was in their saliva, which they did by having their subjects chew on a cotton pad until it was totally filled up with spit, and then they tested the spit pads. It's so cool!
Are you feeling stressed now? You feel stressed? How stressed are you feeling? Is your stress level increasing? And now?
I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, it was a mistake. I'm never going to be able to eat a marshmallow again. It turned out that it didn't matter if the subject was trying to track calories or not. Restricting calories on its own caused stress. The elevated cortisol levels caused by chronic stress are linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, and reduced functioning of the immune system. And also, weight gain. Dieting can cause all the problems that are blamed on fatness. Which brings me back to this guy. Your set point is where your weight stays when you don't think about it or do anything about it. Barring any health or medication issues that can cause weight gain or loss, most people's weight will stabilize once they stop paying so much attention to it. A stable weight can go up or down 15 to 20 pounds without activating the body's defenses against starvation. So when this guy loses 7 pounds around the same time he stopped drinking soda, he's still within his set point. And that experience cannot be extrapolated out to mean that it would be easy for someone to lose half their body weight. The I stopped drinking soda argument is really weird and ridiculous and oh my god, it's so common. But no one should take that seriously. Thin people who say this ridiculous thing are like rich people from rich families who claim they made it all on their own. To the people who say, okay, if dieting doesn't work, what am I supposed to do instead? Well, I don't really want to tell you what to do. And I really couldn't, even if I did want to. The kind of health commandments that really sell well on YouTube are not what I do. Because there's no health recommendation that works for absolutely everyone. Some people can't eat many vegetables because they have intestinal issues that make digesting vegetables hard. Some people have physical limitations that make exercising difficult or impossible. It's better to make health goals that work for you and not worry about what other people are doing. You'll have better results if those goals don't have to do with obsessing over your weight or with counting calories. You can decide you want to lift heavier weights and work towards that. And you can decide how many servings of fruits or vegetables you want to eat in a week and work towards that. You can decide to meditate or do stretching exercises. You can decide you need more sleep. And you probably do. It's really up to you. Generally, choices that work for you will be the ones that make your body feel good. And whatever works for one person may not work for another. And that's really it. It is. That's it. That's all you have to do. And that is metabolism. As always, a huge thank you to all the fat activists, past, present, and future, and to my patrons. If you liked this video or found it helpful, you can also support me on Patreon. See the link in the notes below the video. The notes also list all my sources and provide a link to a transcript. Please like this video, tell me what you think in the comments, and share it with everyone you know. Make some new friends and show it to them too. And subscribe! For my next video, I want to show y'all a bunch of the experiments I read about for this video that I think are super awesome, but didn't really fit well into this one. To me! Here! Thank you!